In the world of entertainment, illusion is part of the business. But what happens when deception goes beyond the screen? When it preys on the dreams of those trying to make it in Hollywood? This is the story of one of the most audacious and bizarre scams the film industry has ever seen, and the man behind it, Hargobind Tahilramani, infamously known as the Con Queen of Hollywood. For years, hundreds of aspiring filmmakers, actors, writers, trainers, and photographers fell victim to a global scam that exploited their passion, ambition, and trust. Posing as powerful female executives from top entertainment companies, names like Kathleen Kennedy of Lucasfilm or Amy Pascal of Sony Pictures, Tahilramani manipulated over 300 victims, luring them into a tangled web of false promises and financial deceit. The scheme worked like this. Victims would receive emails or calls from someone claiming to be a high-ranking Hollywood figure, often offering incredible job opportunities, production roles, location scouting, private coaching gigs. The conversations felt real. There were contracts, schedules, and even phone calls with convincing American accents. But there was one catch. The victims had to travel, often to Indonesia or other international locations, and front various expenses such as car rentals, hotel stays, translators, and local fixers, with the assurance they would be reimbursed later. That reimbursement never came. In truth, there were no job offers, no film shoots, and no executives behind the emails. There was only Hargobind Tahilramani, operating largely out of Indonesia, who used voice-changing apps, fake business emails, and psychological manipulation to conduct what prosecutors call a meticulously crafted fraud operation. Victims were left not only financially devastated, but emotionally wrecked, ashamed of having fallen for such an elaborate con. This wasn't a short-lived hustle. The fraud persisted for years, with Tahilramani hiding behind layers of digital aliases, often switching voices and even genders in his impersonations. His scam was so intricate that even experienced professionals, many with years in the industry, were duped. But eventually, the web began to unravel. Journalists, private investigators, and a growing list of victims began comparing notes. BuzzFeed News was among the first to break the story wide open, launching a global investigation that exposed the scale and consistency of the con. In 2020, authorities began closing in. Tahilramani was arrested in Manchester, UK in 2020 and has been fighting extradition ever since. Now, after nearly 5 years of legal wrangling, a UK court has officially approved his extradition to California, where he will face charges of wire fraud, identity theft, and conspiracy, tied to losses estimated at over $1 million. His final appeal was denied, clearing the way for U.S. authorities to bring him to trial. What makes this case especially disturbing is how precisely it targeted the vulnerabilities of Hollywood hopefuls, their hunger to break into a competitive industry, their trust in gatekeepers, and their willingness to invest in a chance, however slim, to make it. This wasn't just fraud. It was emotional and professional exploitation. In interviews, victims have described the lasting damage, not just financial debt, but ruined confidence, broken relationships, and a deep mistrust of the very industry they once dreamed of joining. Some have even left entertainment altogether, too traumatized to risk another betrayal. The upcoming trial in California is expected to draw widespread attention, not just because of its bizarre plotline, but because of what it represents. In a digital age where identity can be faked with the right tools and ambition can be weaponized, This case is a wake-up call for an industry built on dreams. Hargobind Tahilramani, once an invisible puppet master manipulating hopefuls from afar, will now face the spotlight of justice. Whether he receives the maximum penalty or not, the victims are already calling it a win. Their stories are finally being heard, and the illusion that fooled them all has finally been shattered.